Hello, welcome. I'm Brook.
And I'm Kevin.
And we're going to watch Season 8, Episode 6, the finale of Game of Thrones. I am a big fan of Game of Thrones. I've seen every episode, a lot of them more than once. And Kevin?
I saw the pilot episode like a year or two ago, and that was it.
Yeah, so this should be interesting. We'll see what Kevin thinks of the finale. We'll see what I think of the finale. But the point is, tonight's the finale, and there's been a lot of controversy this season. A lot of people aren't happy with how it's been. Personally, there's a few things I would have changed, but overall I'm not upset with it. I just wish it had been 10 episodes because it feels really rushed.
Yeah, that seems to be the census on social media, which is where I get most of my Game of Thrones information. I really don't know what's going on, but at the same time, I really feel like I've seen it based on all the emotion that I've gone through.
I tell you a lot of things about it. So.
Yeah, we actually have started discussing it, and I hear him through the wall. He'll hoot and holler, and so yeah, I feel like I've kind of gone through it. And since it is the finale, I told him, man, we say I watch it with you, just so I don't feel so left out, so I can be angry at the world with everybody else tomorrow.
There you go. What are your predictions for tonight?
I think that Ned Stark is going to come back as a White Walker and take the throne once and for all.
I want like the Disney ending. I want Jon Snow to be the last king standing, or if he dies, but as long as he's the last one to go out, if they take care of Daenerys, because she's evil now.
Yeah, or that kid that fell out the window in the pilot he's still around, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much all he is around. He just kind of hangs out and tells people about things that have happened already.
Oh, alright.
Okay, here we go. He has a power called warging, which is when you
what?
Warging, W-A-R-G, warging. And it's like his eyes roll back and he can control other like people or animals, and it eventually was evolved through training that he can now see the past, present, and future and all these crazy things. So he's essentially like a human library for all the history of mankind in this show.
Okay, so he's like Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Alright.
But if Wikipedia was hard to navigate and not very helpful to people, because he doesn't really help much.
Well, I'm computer stupid, so that's what I feel like whenever I'm using Google and Wikipedia. Okay, so I think that because I don't know what's going on, I don't want you to necessarily talk through the whole thing, but if you could just give me a little bit,
yeah.
or maybe tell me who it is, because I've heard all these names. Mm-hmm. I've heard, I remember Daenerys, right? Is that the white-haired chick? So the white-haired chick, and then from my understanding, everybody else has been pretty much killed off, except for Jon Snow and apparently the kid who wargles. So next to that,
real quick because it's important. Jon, his three siblings of his are alive still. Bran is
the Starks are still alive.
Yeah, the two girls. The
Starks all got knocked
The girls are still around. Sansa and Arya.
I don't remember. Was that the one where the one girl was a bitch, the little sister or something?
Yeah.
Was that a thing?
Yeah, that was like in season 1.
Must have been the first episode.
They got split up for a long time. They came back both a lot more mature. Arya is like a killer assassin, and Sansa is like the Lady of Winterfell. She's like the head of the house, unless
Winterfell. That was the battle that just happened. The Battle of Winterfell.
That was a few episodes ago. That was
right, but was that the dark one?
Mm-hmm. That was the one no one could see.
Yeah, people were pissed off that it was all dark, but then who was her name? Arya.
Arya.
But then Arya, and who's Arya?
She's the younger sister.
Oh, so Arya's a Stark. She's the youngest sister.
Mm-hmm.
She's not the assassin?
She is the assassin.
Oh, she's the assassin. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then she came out of nowhere and saved the day?
Yeah, literally out of thin air.
Oh, okay. And then that was the thing that I heard whenever that happened? Was that the holler, the woohoo?
Yeah, I got very excited at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, that was very exciting stuff.
It was. And in retrospect, it was kind of like, wait, what happened? But in the moment, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, so those are the Starks, and then Daenerys, the white-haired girl, who's been like building up to be the ruler of the Seven Kingdoms, because they were taken away from her father when she was like born.
So that was her and her brother, her weird brother that hooked him up with Aquaman. Yeah. Okay, but he died a while back.
Yeah, he died in season 1.
Oh, he died in season 1?
Yeah, they got rid of him really quick.
Oh, damn. All right. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah.
I thought that Jason Momoa was on the show. Oh, shows how much I know.
Yeah, Jason Momoa's dead, the brother's dead, but they've been building her up this whole time as like the rightful ruler.
Yeah, she's got the dragons.
Yeah.
Right? Is there any dragons left?
There's one dragon left.
Is it a good dragon? Or
I mean,
was there a zombie dragon?
There was. They killed the zombie dragon in the Dark episode. The Battle of Winterfell.
Oh, okay. Could you see it?
I mean, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you knew what happened. What happened in the last episode is Daenerys finally took King's Landing, the capital. But instead of respecting their peaceful surrender, she went nuts because Cersei, who's arguably the villain of the show, you know, the Lannisters?
Oh, the
twins that were
the brother sister that okay.
Cersei had
and she's like the lead of the show, right? What's her name?
Lena
Headey.
Headey.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Cersei has become like the rightful queen, not just like the queen through marriage, and so she is arguably the villain up to the last episode, and she killed off a lot of Daenerys' forces. They killed one of her dragons. And so when King's Landing surrendered to her in the last episode, she went nuts and burned it all down anyways. So now Daenerys has gone bad.
Okay.
I mean, if you pay attention, she's slowly been going kind of bad, but they still framed her as a hero for a lot of it.
Okay.
And then the reason that those two are also important is because Jon is also Targaryen. He's related to her. But that wasn't revealed until season 6.
Right, they brought incest back into it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they met, they fell in love, and then it was revealed that he is her nephew, that his parentage was kept a secret to keep him alive, otherwise he would have been killed for being a Targaryen. Okay. So now he was at this dilemma where he's not cool with them being romantic anymore because he's like, oh, we're related, but he still follows her because he pledged his allegiance to her. But she was mad because she doesn't give a fuck about incest because her family's all about it. So she wants to still be with him, but now that everything's happened the way it has, it's probably not going to work out.
Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of coming down to the two of them, right? The way it appears.
It's the final battle for the throne, which may or may not still be there because King's Landing burned down, and we don't even know if the throne is still there.
Oh,
that's a lot to take in.
So this whole Game of Thrones may not even... Well, that'd be a weird finale. Like, pulled the switcheroo on you. There's no throne.
Maybe.
Oh, I hope not.
We're going to have to find out, and I think we should do that right now.
All right, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Don't, pick your nose or anything. Tyrion.
Oh, he's still around? It's game on, okay. Peter Dinklage is top billing. Good for him.
Yeah. He deserves it. I think he's got Emmys for it.
Yeah, they still won. Yeah. Did Winter come?
Yes. Although it seems to have gone since the Battle of Winterfell, since the Night King, the White Walkers were defeated. Tyrion was very much against burning down all of King's Landing, so he probably feels a little betrayed right now.
Yeah, what family was he in?
He was Lannister. He was
That's right, the youngest one, yeah.
Seems very nonchalant for being...
He was a survivor.
Yeah.
The backgrounder had no idea how well he was going to get upgraded that day. It's a very good feature. So I bartended the Game of Thrones premiere last year, and Peter Dinklage was there, and all of his bartenders agreed that if he came up to order a drink, we were going to card him. It didn't end up happening, but I guess he asked for something, and he goes, "Oh, your wine isn't good enough," and then just said, "I just won't have any."
So that looks like the Red Keep, which is the capital. Oh, that might be the rubble where Jaime and Cersei got trapped. It is. Oh, did they escape?
I hope so. They're gonna go Avengers with it and just everybody survives.
I don't know. I feel like we're about to see something. Oh, that's Jaime's hand. Oh, man.
Who are those guys?
The Dothraki. Those are Momoa's
Yeah, that's
people.
it. Yeah, a little more savage types.
Dovageris.
Oh no. It's gonna be something.
Jeme henioti no hotina sintas. Piho beo liderende. Non tiraderat. Tolrio pregelat.
Been saying the same speeches this whole time, but it used to be like motivational. Now she's like killing our people.
Ooh, what's he going to do?
Oh my god.
You committed treason.
And you slaughtered his city.
Good man. We're gonna die for him though.
Ooh, bad placement.
Did you bring any wine?
Loves his wine.
Queen doesn't keep prisoners for long. I suppose there's a crude kind of justice. Varys' ashes can tell my ashes. See? I told you.
You did.
The moment the gates fell, the battle was over. She saw her friends beheaded. She saw her dragon shot out of the sky.
And she burned down a city for it.
Ah, it's easy to judge when you're standing far from the battlefield.
Would you have done it?
What? Must it matter what I do?
It matters more than anything.
Love is the death of duty.
You just came up with that.
Mr. Aemon said it a long time ago.
Who's the greatest threat to the people now?
That's her decision. She is the queen.
Sorry, he doesn't like take action in this episode.
And your sisters. You see them bending the knee.
Everyone's been complaining because Jon hasn't done much this season. He's kind of just been there for everything. So this is like his time to fucking do something already. Make us wait till the last minute, I swear to God.
Oh, snap.
Taking a nap. You guys are cool. It's like, alright.
Let's go back to sleep and become a pile of snow.
There it is.
What's that?
The Iron Throne.
Oh, hey.
Survived. That's all she's ever wanted.
So when did she become queen? Like just now with taking down Cersei, or has it been like part of the season? Or?
I mean, she's basically been the queen since the first season, but just of her own forces.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Is that where she married into little one?
It was when her brother, the dickhead, died.
And...
Because he would have been the king. God, that music's beautiful. It's like a slow, sad whisper of an uplifting theme song.
Yeah. Good for her.
I hope it was worth it.
She's come a long way from being raped by her mongoloid husband.
God, what if it just fell apart as soon as she touched it? Oh, they're showing the snake there.
Is that Jen back there?
Yeah. He always stands like that.
Have you been down there? Have you seen children, little children burned?
I tried to make peace with Cersei. She used their innocence as a weapon against me.
I can forgive all of them. Make them see they made a mistake. Make them understand. Please, Daddy. How do you know it'll be good?
Because I know what is good. And so do you.
I know.
You do.
What about everyone else? All the other people who think they know what's good.
They don't get to choose.
You're my queen. No. And always.
Okay. He's gonna stab her. No. Oh
Oh,
no. Oh. Sean. Wait.
Did he? Did he? Did he do it?
Oh my god. Ooh. Oh my god. Damn.
Well, all right.
Oh wow. I mean, it had to happen, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
That was what the little feller said.
Yeah.
Got to.
He's gonna have to go out there and explain this now.
Right.
The dragon's gonna come flying out.
Well, you just shoot him with an arrow, I guess.
Wow.
Oh.
Oh, it's like it now.
Look
It's,
at the dragon.
yep. Look, he killed my mom. But I'm kind of cool with you, so I don't know what to think. She never got to sit on the throne. She touched it.
Oh yeah, she touched it.
She touched it.
Never did. Wow.
Oh, he looks mad. But Jon's a Targaryen, and dragons are like loyal to Targaryens.
Oh shit. So that's like the throne of Game of Thrones, right? All of this was about that throne.
Game is over.
Wow.
Well, Jon never wanted the throne, so there's no harm, no foul.
Wow. I would have expected that. Survived all that other,
Yeah. Guys, you wouldn't believe it when the dragon came in and killed her.
Yeah, the damnedest thing. She touched the throne and breathed on it. And stabbed her. It's weird.
Well, I guess if there's no body, he doesn't have to explain it.
Right?
5 years later. That's where they all met last season to work out a peace treaty with everybody.
It's like the Coliseum or something.
Didn't quite work out.
Jon Snow put a knife in her heart. Let the Unsullied give him what he deserves.
Say another word about killing my brother and I'll cut your throat.
Friends,
Yes!
You're right. And no one's any better for it. But it's not for you to decide.
We don't have a king or queen.
You're the most powerful people in Westeros. Choose one.
Oh, hey, it's Lord Edmure. I haven't seen him in a while. Sansa? They gonna say Sansa? Or is he gonna say me?
I stand before you as one of the senior lords in the country. And
Please sit.
Sam! Woo!
I think we're going to tell him to politely shut the fuck up.
We have to choose someone. And why just us?
Democracy.
maybe the decision about what's best for everyone should be left to Everyone.
They recast Robin.
Maybe we should give the dogs a vote as well.
Oh, my horse!
Oh, you tried. Good old Sam.
Who's that?
John.
There's nothing in the world more powerful than a good story. And who has a better story
Brian.
than Bran the Broken?
What?
Bran has no interest in ruling, and he can't father children.
Good. Sons of kings can be cruel and stupid, as you well know. His will never torment us. I ask you now, if we choose you, will you wear the crown?
Why do you think I came all this way?
He's like, I knew you were going to say all that. It's like, I can see the future. Wow, I didn't see that coming.
It was the kid who fell at the window, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Look at him coming through full circle.
Is he? There's something you know.
Yeah. He had a pretty big part in the pilot and a pretty big part in the finale.
Yeah.
Not sure about all the middle years, but...
He wasn't even in one of the seasons.
Well, good for him. He made a good comeback.
I'm not sure I get a vote, but aye.
The North will remain an independent kingdom.
That's what she wanted.
He's the king of Bran the Broken. So he's the king of other places, but not Winterfell?
I guess he's king of the 6 kingdoms now.
You will be my hand.
No, Your Grace, I don't want it.
I choose you.
Cannot.
Yes, I can. I'm king.
This man is a criminal.
So our new king has chosen to send you to the Night's Watch.
To the what?
The Night's Watch.
Night's Watch.
Is that the wall?
Yeah.
The world will always need a home for bastards and broken men. No one's very happy. Which means it's a good compromise, I suppose.
I don't expect we'll ever see each other again.
I wouldn't be so sure. A few years as Hand of the King would make anyone want to piss off the edge of the world.
Going back to where you started. They even put his hair back the way it was earlier. That's where his girlfriend was from, and he said that when the war was over, they'd go back and protect it.
Oh. Is that a kingdom?
Yeah, it's in on the eastern continent. Essos.
What's west of Westeros? It's where all the maps stop. That's where I'm going.
You have your needle?
Right here.
You're great.
Fixed his hair, thank God. Since he sat in that chair, like season 4.
Green chair is it?
It's the hand of the king, but the King's Landing hand of the king chair, the high table, or the is that it? Small council. High tables. John Wick.
Oh yeah, that sounds familiar. What's he doing?
Straightening the chairs. Because this is what we wanted to see.
Yeah. Maybe you could show up a little bit more time doing this. Good use of a little time they have left.
Right. We're gonna see who else is on the small council. Sir Braun.
Song of Ice and Fire. Archmaester Ebro's history of the wars following the death of King Robert.
That's the name of the book series.
I suppose I come in for some heavy
Oh, really?
criticism.
Oh, I
Oh, wow.
would say that.
It was
Thank
Game
you.
of Thrones.
That was the first
Yes.
book.
Huh.
What does he say about me?
I don't believe you're mentioned.
And Drogon? Any word? Perhaps I can find him. Do carry on with the rest.
Is he an award?
As you wish,
Dragon?
Sir Podrick.
We serve at your pleasure, King Bran the Broken, ruler of the Six Kingdoms and protector of the realm. Long may he reign.
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 That will improve.
I'm sure it will.
I feel like when you're the king, you shouldn't be called the Broken anymore. That just seems
Right, yeah,
insulting.
take that out. Maybe just brand.
Sir Braun of Blackwater, Lord of High God, Lord Paramount of the Reach, and Master of Coin.
These projects will begin as soon as the Master of Coin and Lord of Lofty Titles provide funding. Or soon there won't be no more coin. Anymore. You're Master of Grammar now too.
Grand Maester.
Speaking of builders, all the best brothels burned down. The Master of Coin is willing to fund reconstruction.
The wall?
Yeah. What purpose it serves now that there's no White Walkers.
Oh, right.
Although I wonder if he'll see Ghost. It was a very controversial thing that his wolf pup, Ghost, who he's had since the first season, he left him behind in the north.
Right. So
People got mad he left him behind and that he didn't pet him one last time. Better be waiting for him. Make people unhappy. Oh, there's Tormund. That's like his best friend. Well, he may be stuck up there, but these are all people that he freed. Is that Ghost? Yeah, there he is. There he is. Make Twitter happy. There it is. Guess it's the crown of the north now. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, the Starks have just taken over everything now. They're separated, but they all hold power now, I guess, which is kind of cool.
say about the White Walkers up for all those years, and they just kind of showed up, got beat, and then that was it.
Yeah. Basically. Yeah, that was kind of a weird turn of events. Yeah, but these were all the people that lived north of the wall. They're the uncivilized and wild knights.
Right.
John helped to free them and bring them over to the Seven Kingdoms to save them from the White Walkers.
And then now they're
Now
just
they want to go back.
back.
They want to go back home. Come on, Tormund, say something funny.
Jon Snow gets these people out.
I guess we won't see. I feel like this is it.
That's it, huh?
That's it.
So the Starks won.
Yeah, bittersweet, but they won. All right, Kevin, what'd you think?
The pacing was a little slow. It started off really cool. Every time Peter Dinklage was on camera, I started to fall asleep. He is very slow and deliberate, which is cool. I'm guessing he's saying some important stuff, but because I don't know it, I could have used more dragon. Could have used a couple more deaths. I got the death in there real quick, and then we never really saw it again. Didn't know who any of the people really were, but hey,
Yeah.
they all kind of went their own ways, so that was cool.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
To be fair, we've been up all day. This is very late at night. We were out filming and both worked, or he worked today, and yeah, it's been a long day for both of us. So
long day. It was good though.
Tired. I enjoyed it for what it was. I was the opposite. I loved every time Peter Dinklage was on screen.
No, I love him as an actor, and he's good. It's just that the tone of it,
right?
It was definitely.
That's kind of where like some of the what separates this show so much from others is when they have like these deep philosophical conversations in between like the major events that happen that kind of sets it apart from other shows, and I enjoy those a lot. So it was nice to see, you know, even if it was just once or twice, Peter Dinklage comes in and leads a discussion on democracy or on, you know, what it means to like enforce what you think is good. So I liked it, but that was such a somber ending, and I guess that's kind of what you'd expect from Game of Thrones. But
I was waiting for another twist that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. I felt like the closest we got to the twist was Jon Snow taking her out, and that was like 20 minutes or something like that.
I thought they were going to try to get him like one of Grey Worm, the commander of her forces. I thought he was going to like have one of his guys stab Jon or something.
Yeah, I was wanting like that either final death. It was just kind of the way that it played out. It seemed very what's the word I'm looking for? The way that it all played out, it just seemed very like chill. Mm-hmm. Like it was like we're all just going to discuss this, and then we'll all go our own ways. Where like from what I've known, it seems like it's been more about like the action and the murder, and this episode had very little incest. So
he kissed his aunt, right? And we're back. I don't know where we got cut off, but I thought I was hoping to be a bit more humorous, have him kind of like, even like Tormund at the end, have him throw in a joke or something, because it was like, even in some of the darkest moments, they're able to kind of make light in the show, and I don't know, it's just, this whole season just felt very off, but, you know, the production value is great, it's beautiful looking, all the actors are doing a great job. I think it's just, the writing just needed some tweaks.
If they would have gone 10 episodes, where would you have liked them to have added?
I would have been fine with the same story, but I think that they should have built up to the Night King a bit more. Make it feel like he was a bit more of a force of nature. See, I thought that he would be the final fight, because that's kind of been what the show has been pushing this whole time, is that...
Right, that's why I was kind of surprised, because even though I don't watch the show, I'm still very relevant in the pop culture, and I still hear the things, I still see the memes. I'm on social media quite a bit. I listen to podcasts that not dedicated to it, but they'll do 5 minutes there, 10 minutes there. It's just something you can't avoid. You'd be ignorant if you even tried to. So it's become something that, from what I've heard, I thought it was all building up to that. And then whenever they did have the big battle, like I still thought there was going to be something else. Like I thought that it was going to end with a big battle. Like there was not even anything remotely close to a battle this episode. Mm-hmm. But then again, that's usually in your penultimate episode, which makes
they
sense.
Do in this a lot. Yeah.
That they it sounds like they did do that in last one, because just with the way that it opens up, coming straight off of it, burning the city down, and they set the table very nicely, and I was just expecting some more action, maybe, like I said, maybe another turn, and then somebody defiantly being the ruler now. Mm-hmm. That's, I wanted one person to be the ruler, and it's like the fact that they were like, oh, he rules there, and she rules there, and this guy's going off to an island, and he's going into the woods. Like, I wanted, like, he's the ruler now, all hail the king or queen. Go sit on the throne, boom, credits. That was kind of, we're going to slowly walk off into the woods or something up north, and it slowly fades out with somber music.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of too slow of a burn. I wanted that death punch.
Gotcha. Well, it's funny, it did end kind of where it began, because the show begins with the Night's Watch in the woods north of the Wall, where they first encountered the White Walkers. And that's what I was going to say, is that what was disappointing about not having the Night King be the final villain was that the whole show is kind of leading up to the Game of Thrones was like the children's game that everyone was playing, and the real danger was out there, and they had to unite. And they made a great point of doing that at the end of the last season. But then they just took care of them and then said, okay, we're going back to this, squabble between houses. And it just happened so fast. I would have loved to see everyone come together in some way to take on the Night King throughout this whole season. But if you had to keep the story the same way that it was, I would have liked to see maybe another episode or two at the beginning. And then see like 2 more episodes of this kind of downward spiral of Daenerys, instead of her just flipping a switch kind of like she did in the last episode.
Right, and even with Daenerys having the power that she had, like you see the Dothrakis out there, and whoever the first line was of the guys with the spears or whatever, it's like she had control. Like she controlled everything. Like I have a hard time believing that the Dothrakis are just gonna obey, Bran or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I have a hard time believing that, like, because he's not a strong ruler. She's up there. She's almost like Hitler up there. It's like maybe a weird reference.
It was very
there,
symbolic of like a dictatorship.
Yeah, very much so, that it makes sense why all of the things, because she's somehow doing that. She united them all to go do this, so you kind of see that power play. Like, that's what I want, that's what I wanted. And then the way that they branched it off, in the weaker sense, it kind of, like, then what happens to the Dothrakis? Are they just kind of still there, or did they go home? And
yeah,
because we never saw that what happened to them. I mean, that's an entire kingdom.
Because they kind of offered them King's Landing, even though it was destroyed.
Right.
But then they
they just set up shop there.
I don't know,
because they didn't really show it.
I guess it doesn't matter. I thought they all died in the 3rd episode too. They made it.
I thought that they all died too. Yeah, that's why I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, that was weird. And the whole, like, Bran being the king in the end was kind of like, I guess I could see where you'd go with that, but that wasn't exciting. I'm not like, yay, Bran's the king. It's
let's all sit in a circle and convince ourselves that he's the one that it should be.
And then just in the end, all of the build up to Jon being the son of a Targaryen and a Stark, and bringing these houses together and bringing the kingdoms together, just kind of added up to nothing. I mean, he did save them from Daenerys in the end, but then that he got this weird sentence to kind of go back to where he started, which I guess it's poetic, but it's kind of underwhelming. So
yeah, a little bit, but okay.
I mean, that's it.
So yeah, I can't. I'm not gonna hate on it. I guess it's.
So now that you've seen the last episode, do you think you'll ever go watch the show in its entirety?
I don't think I would watch the show in its entirety, but knowing what I know now, I think I would be very willing to go through and cherry pick from all these things I've been hearing, because there's this mystique that I've been hearing all these years about the purple wedding or the red wedding, and because I have seen little clips of it. Again, I'm a pop culture nerd, and I love film and television. But I've never been invested into it, so I will not go back and rewatch it all. But I would go back and rewatch certain things to see where it goes. These exciting moments that I hear about, I would go back and be for it.
I think you should give it a shot. Go back and watch it from the beginning, because those moments are good, but it builds on itself.
You have
so
to
much.
know, absolutely.
It's worth it, I think.
Cool. Yeah. Any slow burn that has the big payoff, that's what I'm all for. So.
Anyways, well, we hope that you enjoyed this first reaction video from us on the last episode of Game of Thrones. Maybe we'll do this again sometime, but this was fun.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it was Game of Thrones. Who knew? I can no longer be the guy that says I don't watch Game of Thrones. So
he loves to be that guy, too.
I am that guy, the new vegan.
Cool. All right, well, hey, at least Jon got to pet Ghost, his direwolf.
That's right. I saw the memes on that. People were not happy. So good for him.
Be happy now. If anything, that was resolved.
There you go.
So there we go. All right.
Cool.
Bye, guys.
Peace out.